Hey everyone, Dr. Robin Bond here. Today I want to talk to those people who would like to become a scientist because they love science, but they think they can't become a scientist because they're not smart enough. First of all, we need you. Okay? If you love science, we want you in science. I want you to think about solving a problem. For example, let's say you have a big jigsaw puzzle that you're trying to put together. So sometimes if you're doing it by yourself, you'll get stuck on a section. You're like, I put in all these pieces, but there's two pieces and I can't find them in my box of pieces. And you'll try and you'll try and you'll try and you can't seem to find it. And then someone just walks by and they're like, oh, are you looking for this one? And they just pick it up and they stick it in. You're like, what? I put in all this work and you just walk by? Well, here's the thing. The reason they can do that is because sometimes when you're the one who's looking at a problem for too long, you get stuck. Your brain gets stuck. It gets hyper-focused on very specific ways of solving the problem. And so sometimes what you need is you need someone with an outside perspective. So when I say we need you, what I mean is this. If you think you're not smart enough, it's because your brain works differently than other people's, and that's precisely why we need you. You could be one of those people who walks by the puzzle of science and says, oh, were you looking for this piece? There it goes. We need you in science. Now let's address the other thing, which is that you're not smart enough. So I have taught a lot of people, and usually the reason people think they aren't smart enough is they're having trouble with math, okay? They say, well, yeah, I want to learn chemistry. Chemistry is fascinating, but in order to do chemistry, you need to know algebra. I couldn't do algebra. I failed algebra or did very badly in algebra. Here's where I'm going to shift out of my chemistry professor mode and I'm going to shift into my tutor mode. You see, before I was a professor, before I went back to graduate school, I was a tutor. I tutored some chemistry and a lot of math. So I have seen a lot of these people who think they're bad at math. And what I want to say to all of you who think you're bad at math is, it's not that you're bad at math, it's that you haven't found the way that your brain interacts with math yet. When you are taught math, 9 times out of 10, you will have a teacher who only explains a concept one way. If that way doesn't work for you, you feel stupid. A good teacher explains things 2 or 3 different ways from 2 or 3 different angles so that you can understand at least one of those. If you understand one, then the concept becomes more clear and you can start seeing it from other ways as well. So the reason this is important to me is because I had trouble with math. Not in elementary school, not in high school. I did great all the way through. But when I was in college, I had trouble with math. I actually failed math classes. By the time I got to graduate school, almost 20 years later, people were saying, oh, go ask Robin for help. She's the one who's good with math. They said this about a person who failed math. So there's always hope. If you think you aren't smart enough, it's because you haven't found the way that your brain interacts with science or interacts with math yet. And so I encourage you, if you are stuck, find someone, whether it's a friend of your parents or a friend of your own, or whether it's a tutor that you hire, or whether it's just someone on YouTube or on social media who you could reach out to. Find someone who can help figure out how your brain interacts with science. If you love science, you have the motivation to do the work that is necessary to figure out basic math and science principles. So if you love science and you think you don't belong, I want to welcome you to science. I want to extend an invitation and say, We need you. Hey folks, hope I gave you some good encouragement here. As you can tell, this is a subject that is near and dear to my heart. It's really important for me to find ways to have people succeed in science. I have developed a series of videos which help people to learn the math-heavy parts of chemistry. You can see some of the older ones here on my YouTube channel, and I have new and improved versions of chemistry videos coming up soon. So if you're interested, please subscribe to my channel and also hit the like button.